This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. From streaming to shopping, Prime helps you get more out of your passions. So whether you're a fan of true crime or prefer a nail-biting novel from time to time, with services like Prime Video, Amazon Music, and fast free delivery, Prime makes it easy to get more out of whatever you're into or getting into. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to learn more.
What's up, everybody? It's ImmaLetYouFinish, show number 213 on the Pantheon Podcast Network with your favorite hosts, Court Names. What's going on?
5 more days until the end of the world. Or 6 more days.
Oh, no, we've been living in the end of the world.
It's going to really end. It's going to really end, and it's going to be... I think it's just repulsive that the inauguration day this year falls on Martin Luther King's birthday.
I can't even talk about that. I can't.
What kind of cruel God does that?
And I just saw some court in Texas put out a statement saying that they're going to be closed on Monday the 20th for Robert E. Lee Day and Martin Luther King. I'm like, that's not a real thing. So, like, we're already just seeing, you know what? You've got us. We're your break from politics. We will be your safe place for the next 4 years.
Well, we're not your break from politics. We're your break from Trump.
Yeah, but you know what? Which means we're going to have to be a break from politics for the next 4 years, because it's going to be... We've already seen this show. Now, the sequel is never as good as the original.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Except if it's Godfather 2.
Yes, but that's not what this is. This is going to be Grease 2.
Right. Oh, yeah. Or the second Saturday Night Fever.
Staying Alive,
which was really bad. Which was why? It was a perfect movie. Why did they do that? Why?
I mean,
why?
Except I'm probably one of the few people that actually likes the songs in Grease too. Like Michelle.
I don't even know them.
Michelle Pfeiffer singing "Cool Rider." Or
no
the girls when they all sing "I'll Be Your Girl for All Seasons" and Michelle is dressed like the Christmas tree. Is she sad?
No, I never. That's not. All right. Well, obviously, everyone listening to this and some of our listeners and friends are aware of and have been impacted by the absolutely apocalyptic fires that are going on in Los Angeles right now. It's not even worth going into the devastation because people are aware of it. People we know have lost their homes. It's focusing on the famous people, but people across the board.
Have you turned your gain up? Have you messed with your gain? Because you feel louder.
There. It's just, we don't need to go into it. Everybody's aware of it. It's just a horrible, horrible time. So, LA obviously is the capital of entertainment, and it's award season. So common decency and sense might indicate that when there are fires still burning,
it's been a week. It's been over a week. Still burning.
And none of them are contained. None of them are even close to even 20% contained. More bad weather is predicted. The death toll is rising. Thousands of people have left their homes. I don't know. Common sense might dictate that perhaps you cancel the biggest music event of the year, a.k.a. the Grammys. Oh, but no. They're like...
Let me just say this.
It's like tone deaf doesn't even begin to... It's beyond tone deaf.
Every label and Billboard... They're all canceling their Grammy event. So let's start with that.
Is the Clive Davis party canceled, I'm assuming?
Well, who knows? Because he held a party with Whitney Houston's dead body in the same building.
Well,
6 flights above, talking about she would have wanted the party to go on. I'm like, I feel like
she might have wanted
not have wanted the party to go on with her body upstairs.
Yep.
That's just
Yep.
me. That's just me.
Just a
That's
hunch.
just me. The one thing, what do we need right now? I'll tell you what we need. We need to focus on the people of Altadena, the generationally Black and Latin families whose families had those homes for generations and kept them in their family, and the children and the grandchildren moved into those homes, and they're all gone. People who I knew lived there, the houses are completely gone.
Didn't Albert used to live there?
And that house is gone. It is gone. That whole block is gone. There's a bunch of, and so what we don't need is a bunch of celebrities as they're getting their award doing I just want to say they're
going to wear little ribbons.
Thoughts and prayers. It's like
thoughts and prayers.
We're past that. Yes, prayer is always, I pray, I go to church, I believe in prayer. Prayer is very important. But we also don't need to see a bunch of people on TV feigning sadness in 2 weeks when there's such devastation. The Critics' Choice has moved. A lot of award shows are moving. And I ultimately think, with everything being canceled around the Grammys, I do think probably next week at some point, someone's going to say, we can't do this. Either we can just announce who the winners are and be like, these are the people who won.
And have it as a telethon. How about it as a fundraising telethon?
How about not even that? Because you know what? Whenever they do those, where does the money actually go? Who gets the money? Because people need real help.
Send it to the rep. But the point, there's so many reasons. Firstly, nobody watches the Grammys. So
the ratings have gone up in the last few years. People do watch the Grammys. Right, it's not even about that. It's just about your town is burning all around you.
I think what's also important to keep in mind is that when people are coming to town from out of the city, they're using up hotel rooms that possibly people who are now homeless might, because price gouging is going on. So you're literally taking up resources that are going to be needed. They need streets cleared. We don't know where this fire is going to go next. Usually, usually cities are not burned. Usually the brush fire and stuff. So they need resources. They need water. They need all these things. And having 1,000 or so people, it's just utterly
dressed in their designer finest.
But not even if they went in jeans and a t-shirt. It's just so tone deaf, for Christ's sake. Nobody, even the people who are nominated for Grammys, okay, do it in a month. No one's gonna. It's not a time-sensitive award. It's not an election. You can win a Grammy today, in a month, in 6 months. It's just unbelievable to me. They should treat this like 9/11, as far as I'm concerned, and cancel or postpone everything. I mean, we talk about there's benefits now going on. I just read that Madlib, the producer, has lost. Tons of people have lost equipment. Every day you see more and more people across the board. Pacific Palisades, everywhere. Altadena, all these. Everyone else, they're having benefits. They're going to start. Music Cares, to its credit, was the first organization to come out there and pledged $1 million. So good for them. But The Weeknd has canceled his Rose Bowl performance, and he's pushed back the release of his album. Beyonce was supposed to have some big announcement yesterday. She thankfully has pushed back that. 9 Inch Nails has pushed back the announcements. He's also pushed back the album release as well. So people are like, yeah, I think you're right. By next week, people are going to go, we look horrible.
And it's like you can't then. Listen, people need escapism. I understand that. And I do understand that the rest of the country is not affected. But the place where this is happening, I just don't think it's a great look to have people 2 miles from devastation in full-on couture talking about, I hope I win. You know what I mean?
And also, we don't know what this fire is going to do tomorrow or the next day. This is climate. It's going to be bad. The state is going to take forever to be rebuilt, if it is rebuilt at all in the next 4 years. But Yeah, it's just a tone deaf look. People should just take a pause on this. Do the Grammys in May. What's going to happen if they, or tell them that they won the fucking Grammy
That's what
and
I
then
said.
do the
Maybe
ceremony. Tell them
put a
who won.
list out. Here's the list of winners. We will mail you your Grammys.
We'll mail you a Grammy.
But
Do it like they did
that's
during
too.
COVID.
But there's too much money. They don't like. Remember the COVID? They did the weird Grammys that actually worked. But ratings
best. That was the best. That was the best Grammys ever.
That actually worked. I think you can move the Grammys to either the end of February or the beginning of March, and everybody will still be okay.
They'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine. Nobody is sitting at home waiting for the Grammys. Nobody. Except for the people nominated for Grammys. And you know what? A lot of them are LA based, and I have to assume that more of them have more important things on their mind than a Grammy. So if those of you who are listening out there, I really do think, I was just on the phone with a publicist who works mainly in music, but has also started working in film and stuff. And even she was like, I can't believe they're still thinking of doing this. And not for nothing, if you want to, talking about our new era we're moving into, if you really want to highlight cultural elite, our state is burning and we're going to have an award ceremony. I mean, it's just tacky. And I hope they cancel it or postpone it because like I said, everybody else is postponing. I think the Weekend record was supposed to come out like soon, like this week.
I believe it was this week. I think it was supposed to come out Friday the 17th.
So yeah, and I would just think that it's a public safety issue to have. Because like I said, this fire, who knows where the hell it's going to go? It wasn't supposed to be burning down cities.
I don't think it's a matter of it coming to downtown LA because that's not, that. I just, it just feels like the place where you're having this has been hit with just the type of... It's just whole cities are gone. Right. So let's take a pause and
I think you're right, though. I think by next week they're going to get in it. All right, so you know what really would be great if they would take a pause and postpone is the inauguration. But oops, some idiots voted for this guy. So there's always the big parties and whatnot. And the last time Cheeto Jesus got in, nobody wanted to perform for him. But now everybody has decided, that Diet Coke has given him a commemorative inauguration Diet Coke.
Well, listen. What people are afraid of is the backlash of his administration coming after them. So you see the list. You see Mark Zuckerberg, how he's fallen on the sword and being like, basically saying, the truth is too political. So we're taking away the fact checkers and we're going to do like Elon did with X. And when he said that, I was like, have you been there? That's a dumpster fire. Like what that is... You want this to turn into that? That's what you want? Because that's a mess.
Well, yes, they do. But I don't understand why musicians are afraid of Trump. So it's not a shocker. No disrespect to Carrie Underwood. She's a very good singer. But that a white Christian Southern woman... Country
singer.
I was going to get to that. A white Christian Southern country pop singer is a... She has not said she's a Trump supporter. She was an anti-vaxxer or a vaccine skeptic, but that she's performing at the inauguration is not shocking. Yes, it is a patriot. It is a great honor, but this is a different circumstance. So she's going to be performing, and she has Whoopi Goldberg's blessing. So I can sleep tonight knowing that. And then the straight guy in the Village People, that non-gay group that basically made its entire... So they're going to perform too. You know what's so weird, though? I read that he's a Democrat, this guy. So what, is he just trying to get his last 5 minutes of something?
No, it's opportunism. Everything is... No, it's not last 5. It's money, right? Yeah. Because he wrote the lyrics to those songs. He fought with the original producers. He gets his cut. And now all of MAGA's using it. They're licensing it up to wazoo. They're using the song and streaming the song. So, he, like a lot of these people that we're seeing is opportunism. The Carrie Underwood situation is quite interesting because who is really the angriest is her gay fans, because she has positioned herself as an ally and spoken up for the community. And a lot of people in the community feel like this incoming administration has waged a war against us. And it's like, so you performing for this event is like, you're not really our ally. That seems to be the narrative that I see coming around it. Now, I will say, not many people get to say they performed at an inauguration. I can understand if you, listen, take like which side out of it, it's like, I'm asked to sing America the Beautiful at the inauguration as an artist. You have a decision to make. Not everybody gets to do something that special. And I'm surprised that people are so shocked that Carrie Underwood, I'm like, she's a country singer. Like, that audience especially is that Republican conservative audience. It's like, so it doesn't shock me that she would be there. Listen, I'm also kind of like the kids, we need to cancel her. I'm like, this is dumb. Everybody will do something eventually that you don't like. The idea that now you don't like her because she's going to sing at an American president's inauguration, it just feels like we have to stop being so outraged over everything.
I'm not outraged over. I'm just incredibly disappointed.
I'm not saying you're outraged. I'm talking about what the gay community, if you hear what I'm talking about, what the gay community has been saying, right, and the conversations that I'm seeing, and we can't play her music anymore. And I was like, listen.
You weren't playing, yeah.
It's like, yes, would I prefer she maybe said no? Sure, not my guy. But at the end of the day, she said yes. It's a historical moment. She'll be part of history. She sang at a presidential inauguration. I understand a reason why an artist might say yes to that. Because I don't. Yeah.
Not for this president. For any other president, I'm being very honest. Mm-hmm. Not for this president. For any other president, yeah, you kind of, it was the, I'm sorry, not for this guy, because this is not normal circumstances. But if she wants to do it and she can live with it and cash her check and live her life, right, that's fine. I am not shocked that she's doing it, because it does. I'm disappointed. How's that?
Yeah,
but I'm not.
I get
shocked.
that. Yeah, I get that.
I'm disappointed, but join the list of things I'm disappointed about, because this is a tacit approval. This is beyond I'm doing it for my country. This is a kind of tacit approval, but there's nothing we can do. She's not going to be canceled. Her career will be fine. Nobody has ever been canceled over any of this stuff.
Except for the Dixie Chicks.
Except for the Dixie Chicks.
And which I find really
Kathy Griffin. Kathy Griffin.
But at least Kathy Griffin, after years, got to claw herself back and get out there and get dates again. They still try. Those country people who act like everybody just cancels folks, it's like, you guys still treat the chicks horribly.
And Morgan Wallen has #1 albums.
Yeah.
Like, that lasted what? What was that? A minute?
And it didn't even. It was just like people got mad and the public responded by immediately giving him a #1 single that stayed #1 for a million weeks and a #1 album.
Who's that guy? Tori Aldean? Jason Aldean.
And his wife, yeah.
And his.
Well, at least Kid Rock will be there, and
Thank God. Thank God.
God.
It wouldn't be, and Scott Baio.
Right.
And maybe Chrisette Michele will come back.
Well, it's so funny. I got into it with a friend about that, and they were like, the Democrats, it doesn't help that they get celebrities. I was like, no, I don't think celebrities help anybody. I said, but the funny thing is, Republicans have a bunch of celebrities too. You guys just don't like those people. So, like, we discount them as being celebrities. And because the ones that are considered more mainstream popular come to the Democratic side, it's like we seem to measure it differently. It's the same thing.
Right.
And I really don't think celebrity helps one way or the other. I really don't. No,
well, this is a show. I mean, no, celebrity doesn't help one way or this is just I'm assuming all this stuff. Oh, we get to see Trump do that horrible monkey dance of his.
Are you going to watch?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I? Why would I? I mean, I know it's horrible. I was forced to watch it when he was inaugurated the first time because I was teaching and they gathered all the kids and we watched it and I was literally hiding behind a column, cursing under my breath and crying. No, I'm not going to watch it. I see no reason to watch it. No, I'm not going to watch it. I'm sure I'll find something else to do. I don't know what it is. Like I could go through the Rolling Stone 250 best albums of the 21st century list, which I have to tell you, I'm not mad at a lot of these choices. I mean, we know these lists are stupid.
Yes.
Lists are there for clickbait. Lists are there. It's like listicles are there so that you can give a whole bunch of writers $50 to write a blurb and it's there to cause debate and get stuff and no one will ever be happy with anybody. But so the number one record is Lemonade, right?
Yes.
And I saw the guy from Rolling Stone, the guy who put this together, and he said in the room there was a big knockdown drag out about whether it should be the self-titled Beyonce record or Lemonade.
Which to me, if you ask me my choice as...
You would say the self-titled,
Absolutely,
right?
the self-titled one.
Right. But Lemonade is the one that changed the conversation. I understand.
But so did the self-titled one.
I think so too.
The self-titled one was the one. First of all, I had some,
Full disclosure. Yeah.
I did all of the remixes to the tunes for that. I was in the office that night watching people wake up at midnight around the world because they were like, wait a minute, a new Beyonce album that we did not know just dropped with a video album, with a video for every song, and it changed like the whole... She was not the first person to surprise you with an album, but it changed moment of surprise album. A more sexualized Beyonce as far as what she was talking about in the music.
It was a great record.
Everything. It was great. And I have some complaints here. It's like, okay.
So who are the people? So the number one is her. All right. So, okay. That Ashley, all right, I'm going to freely admit that there's a lot of these artists I've never heard because they fall into that realm of like white noise I'm not privy to. So, and I literally mean white, like in white noise. I'm very happy that there's a lot of Latin artists on this. That's encouraging. I'm very happy that there's a lot of African artists, but of course we're talking about the last 25 years, so that's why. Ashley Simpson, what is Ashley Simpson doing on a list of anything?
Because Autobiography was a great pop rock album. It was. And it had a lot of hits, and those songs still sound great. Like, we go back to that Saturday Night Live moment where it all fell apart, but that was a great album for her, and it was a huge album for her, and those songs were really sort of...
All right, but let me ask you this then. She's at 237, and then you're telling me the Dua Lipa is at 235? The Future Nostalgia? Talk about a record. That was a record. Are you telling me that Ashley Simpson is 2 spots below?
Well, let's go. We'll go to the top 10. All right, it's Lemonade 1, Radiohead's Kid A is number 2, Frank Ocean's Blonde is number 3.
I would have gone with Channel R.
Outkast Stankonia is number 4. No. Taylor Swift Folklore is number 5. Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City is number 6. SOS by SZA number 7. Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which really was a great album. Bad Bunny's number 9 with Un Verano Sin Ti. Number 10 is The Strokes, This Is It. 11, D'Angelo's Voodoo. 12, Jay-Z's The Blueprint. 13, Fiona's The Idle Wheel is Wiser When the Driver...
She had 2 albums on this, which is...
White Stripes is 14. Lana Del Rey's Norman fucking Rockwell is 15. It's like, what? Either. The Beyonce self-title is 16. Adele's 21 is 17. Missy Elliott Under Construction is 18. Bob Dylan Love and Theft is 19. Lady Gaga The Fame Monster is number 20.
All right, so I think Taylor and Beyonce each had 4 albums and Gaga... All right, but so I'm going to just play devil. And again, it's all Amy Winehouse 26. That was a huge record. I'm sorry. It was a huge, huge record. I'm glad, look, Nobody is going to be happy with these. I'm glad Sky Ferreira made the list. I love her, but she's a critic's darling. She's one of those. I just can't believe Future. Is there like some sort of secret Dua Lipa backlash going on that we're unaware of? I'm being serious. Like,
I don't think so.
As the tide turned, like all of a sudden people are like, not the fans. I just Aaliyah's one, Daytona, which I love that record, Daytona, Jasmine Sullivan. I mean, I'll give them this. It's a very inclusive list. It's not the usual suspects. And you have to keep in mind, the last 25 years, that is the era of Taylor and Beyonce and Gaga. That's it. You will never be able to explain the Strokes to me. You will never be able to explain why they're interesting. I don't get them at all. I don't know anybody who still listens to Kid A, but I understand why it's on the list. I really do. And to dismiss them as being overrated is... I mean, that was a huge, huge record. So anyway, yay, lists,
How is... There's only one Madonna album on this list, and it's not Confessions on the Dance Floor. I'm sorry. Confessions on the Dance Floor was Madonna's return to form. It was her, I'm back in the clubs where I started. It is such an important album in her catalog. For that not to have made this list, I'm going to say, this is where I'm looking at you, Rolling Stone, and being like, no.
Well,
No.
Amy Winehouse. That was, come on, can we agree that was one of the biggest artists of the last 25 years?
Yeah, she was great.
She was great.
Yeah.
She won. Miseducation wouldn't be on here because that's not the 21st century. I have to always remember when, lists. I know I know you don't like him as a human being, but I'm very happy to see Black Summer Night on the record on the list because I do think it's a really, really. I think it's like his best record. Actually, I won't mention his name because I know you've had a long day.
Except he may not be my favorite always, but I love Embria, and I played that album recently because I love that album. And that's
a record that gets forgotten.
A lot of people have a hard time with that record.
Yeah, I got to go back to that.
First of all, Urban Hang Suite was a great album, and then he followed up with Embria. And I love a weird record, and I love when people go weird on a follow-up and turn everybody out. And I thought that Embria, if people go back and listen to that now, I think they will really appreciate it more because so many people were like, I don't get this.
Well, I reviewed Embria. I reviewed Embria and the second Tony Rich record, and I was not a fan of Embria, and I loved the second Tony Rich record.
A lot of people weren't a fan of Embria. They did not understand what he was doing with that record, and I thought it was great.
When you go back and we talk about that, if you go back and listen to the second Terrence Trent D'Arby record, it's only because it came after such a huge pop record because it's a great album.
And he so wanted to not be that big pop star in that way that he went
and
so
he
far.
Made sure.
With neither fish or damn, he was like, I'm going to go.
But it's a good record.
It is. It's a great record.
It's a really good record.
So is the third record, Vibrator. Vibrator is a great record.
Those are the ones. It's always like the first record, third, and fourth, and people pretend like that second record. It's like that boyfriend you didn't have in high school. But when you go back and listen to the second record, it's the setup for the third and the fourth record. I like the third and fourth records better than the first record, to be honest with you. And I like the first record. Anyway, you want to talk about fucking Drake? What is Drake's problem?
You know how you have that friend who's just always upset about something. They just don't know how to be happy, and they have everything, but they always find something to be unhappy about. That's what he sees. Like lawsuits, withdrawing lawsuits. It's like, this is hip hop. What's wrong with you? You got beat in a battle. It happens. Move on. Billboard ranked you the number one pop artist of the 21st century. You've sold a gazillion records. People are waiting for your next record. Yes, Kendrick got the best of you this time around. It's okay. He's a better lyricist than you. You are something different.
Well,
And
I was going to say, let's explain exactly what it is. So he was before Drake was suing his label, aka Kendrick's label as well, right? For saying that basically in shorthand they were juking the stats with Spotify and all these stuff. He's dropped that part of the thing. Now he's decided to go for straight defamation against Kendrick and the label by saying that the album cover, which shows like an aerial view of Drake's house, put his life in danger. This would be the same house that he had in one of his videos, by the way.
that's the thing. The house that we've all seen.
All seen.
I don't even follow you. I don't pay attention. And I know what your house looks like.
I know. You did Tootsie Slide in the house. We know what artwork you have.
You have posted in your house all. It's like somebody who's spiraling out. They just are literally in their house being like, I'm so upset. Why are you upset? Because it's Tuesday and I'm upset.
And it's very un-Canadian, by the way. Canadians are not usually this petty, and this is not a Canadian thing. But it's also like, why are you waiting this long? Like, the momentum is gone. Like, it's like did he want to just bring it up again because it was before the Grammys and he wanted to take a little shine off of Kendrick I don't know. The timing is weird.
He just looks nuts. It's like
he looks nuts.
It feels like a very immature person.
It's petty.
Who's like, what is wrong with you? You're in the wrong business if you can't handle a rap beef. I'm sorry you lost. You did. You tried. You came back with records too. You have one or two moments that you hit the mark. But the fact that this is the route you're going is like, it kind of shows you like when he says they're not like us, they're not. You keep actually showing how much you're not.
You're not like us, right? And again, yes, calling someone a pedophile is probably not the best career move. But guess what? Neither is putting unauthorized pictures of Halle Berry and whatnot. Neither is all the kind of sexual stuff he said. Yeah, Drake, go. Aubrey, if you're listening, sit down. Go to your Raptors games with your child, your unfortunately named child, and go calm down. I really think he timed it around the Grammys. I think he just figured this will be another chance for him to get in the spotlight. Be quiet, sit down, be humble, in the words of your arch enemy, Kendrick Lamar.
Go have some poutine and listen to Anne Murray. You need to calm down. You need to calm down.
Do they is poutine only French Canadian, or do they eat that slop in Toronto? That stuff, it looks like somebody ate it and threw it up again.
I do not like French fries that are soggy, and I've had poutine. I've tried it, and I'm like, I don't understand the delicacy of this. Point.
No, it's sort of, I think you have to be super. I think the one time I did have it, I was extremely drunk, and it is a good hangover kind of food. Do you want to talk about our friend Lord Jamar?
I would like to take a break, and then we can come back, because I think that poutine talk is giving me a little bit of a stomach ache. We're going to take
a tummy ache.
It's giving me a tummy ache. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Okay, so you know how we were talking about like really stupid people and you need to sit down and more. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you want to instantly feel smarter, if you're having one of those weeks where you're like, I don't know, we have posted it for you. Thank you, Jay Smooth, to hipping us to it. Lord Jamar.
Who's, I guess, a flat earther.
Oh, he's beyond that. I mean, yes, he's a flat.
Have you known that he was kind of?
Yes, yeah. He's been like this guy. He makes Hoteps embarrassed. That's how bad he is. Even the Hoteps don't want him coming to the Hotep.
No,
Hotep party.
They're like, you're not invited.
No, you're not. Who's that guy? Dr. Sebi. That guy. Yeah, it's like, nah, you can stay. So Lord Jamar. He's horrible. He's just, I'm sorry, right? I mean, he's just, so Lord Jamar is, from Brand Nubian, rapper, blah, blah, blah. So he is He is a flat earther, among other things. He's an anti-vaxxer. He's a flat earther. He's just basically science doesn't exist unless you're dropping it and you're a 5%er. Okay, so there's a guy named Professor Dave, who I've never heard of because I don't spend all my time on YouTube, who has a show. He's basically like a new, cooler version of Bill Nye the Science Guy, I guess. And one of them was on Godfrey, another person who are these people? I know who Godfrey is, but why are they? All right. Blah, 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 blah. Lord Jamar, they had a debate. And by debate, I mean one person who has intelligence was trying to speak intelligently, and another person who's got the IQ of a cat. Not even a cat, because cats are smart. And Lord Jamar was so pissed about this thing airing that he took it off the air. But Professor Dave was also taping it, and he's the one who put the video out. So if you ever want to see somebody get their ass handed to them in real time, this thing is so embarrassing. First off, he's trying to explain why there's no gravity. Lord Jamar, like there's no gravity, and if there were gravity, we would fall up instead of falling down. It's mind-blowing. But I'm surprised he's not in Trump's cabinet, such as his grasp of science. But the best, and then they're cursing each other out, and he's calling him an asshole, and he's calling him an asshole. The highlight, though, if you really want to make an intelligent point and prove yourself, I think the best thing to do is to light up a blunt in the middle of the conversation, because at that point you're like, he's like, well, if the Earth is round, then why aren't we falling off of it when we stand up? I mean, it's literally that conversation. And then he gets mad, and Professor Dave's calling him an ass. But what's funny is that the guys on the panel with him, you have to watch it, who were supposedly Jamar's friends, are like, you're an idiot. Shut up. What are you talking about? Everybody knows there's no such thing as gravity. Why isn't the water spilling over? The sun, it's so bad that a lot of times, it's embarrassing to watch like white people, white men, like sort of school black men, There is a universal support for this one white man completely ripping this
Which is
guy.
when it's bad when that is factual.
Everybody's like, yeah.
Everybody's like, now normally I would be like, what you're not going to do is this. But everybody's like, well.
Right. You can keep. Plus, Lord Jamar is also like viciously homophobic on top of everything else.
Well, of course he is.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
I mean, that goes without saying, right? I didn't even have to bring that up. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like, of course you are. And none of us are even paying attention. We're like, who are you? What?
Yeah. No,
sorry.
he's just, but it is 20 minutes of your life that you will not get back, but yet you'll just walk away from it going, you know what? I'm so much smarter because I know what gravity. I know what gravity is. He's like, gravity was invented. They invented. All right. I have to do a major shift in tone here. Hold on. All right. So I have only read one of his books, Coraline, Neil Gaiman, I believe you pronounce it. But he is a hugely, hugely, hugely successful writer. His stuff have been adapted for movies. He has a show on Netflix that's going into its second season. Sandman. I'm not going to act like he doesn't matter because I've never read him. I'm not a sci-fi fantasy person. That's not my vibe. His ex-wife is Amanda Palmer, who was in a group called Dresden Dolls that I know of, and she was popular. She was like the crowdsourcing queen. She was one of the first people on Patreon, and crowdsourcing. Anyway, there have been allegations about Neil Gaiman for years, bubbling about sexual assault allegations. Well, in this week's New York Magazine, it is all out there, and it's nauseating. It's absolutely nauseating to read, and it's nauseating to read because the ex-wife is clearly complicit, whether she realizes they're. So it's just very, very disturbing. And on one hand, we joke around about this, right? Like, oh, men behaving badly. But So he has already been dropped. Like a couple of projects that were in the works have been dropped. Because it's an, I mean, without getting, it's sort of an article about, it's sort of his behavior, sort of this weird line between it's exploitive and, what's BDSM and what's consensual, but it's just he's just not well. I didn't know he was that he was raised in Scientology, which might explain a lot of his issues, but it's very sad. The whole thing is very, very sad, and he's a sick puppy. And I know he lived in Woodstock for a while, and the Woodstock community is like appalled by this as well. So anyway, so that's not good stuff. But that's like a big news story right now, and I'm looking to see what this is. Hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I digress. Anyway, anything else you got, sir?
No.
All right, what are you listening to? I'm still listening to the Bad Bunny record nonstop.
I actually, it's interesting because you know me, when I'm reading a book, I tend to go back into that music. I listened to the Bad Bunny album a couple of times this week on the way to work, and it's really, I enjoyed it. And now I after finishing Nena's book, I picked I'm in my autobiography stages. I picked Barbara Streisand's book back up because it's a 700-page book. And
well, that's what you're still going because you did that too. It's a long, but you have a long subway ride.
It's a long book, so I save it and I read it on my commutes. So
that makes sense.
It made me start. Just on Qbuzz, I started just streaming her albums and listening to that. So today I listened to Je m'appelle Barbara. And that was on my way to work. And on the way home, I listened to A Star Is Born soundtrack.
Well, I'm glad you took the hit for the rest of us. Mm-hmm. Because, I got no use for her.
You and my mother. My mother's like, no.
I acknowledge her talent.
My mother won't even do that. So at least I get that half out of you. My mom's like, no.
I acknowledge her talent. Mm-hmm. Well, my friend Jose Luis Pardo recommended this woman. I had her. You've probably heard her before. Noga Erez.
No.
Do you know who she is?
Mm-mm.
You would like her, actually. She's a little controversial, not because of what she does musically, because she is Israeli and she is being banned in festivals, which is kind of effed up because you can't punish a woman for where she was born. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's not out there marching, but it's it's like dance. It's weird. It's sort of like a little Fergie, a little Gaga, a little everything. It's kind of an interesting kind of stuff. And then again, I'm just still listening to Bad Bunny and just marveling. The man who loves a marketing campaign, marveling at the marketing camp. This is like, they should do TED Talks on this, man. Oh my God. Do you think he's had his nose done? He looks like he's had his nose done.
I don't know.
I Googled it. No, because I've always thought he was very cute. But the one thing I would look at him and go, I am not criticizing anyone's nose. And no among, but I was like, but he's adorable and he still looks great and he's adorable and I love him. And he's clearly, I am very much, he's going to, obviously, he's doing a residency in Puerto Rico for what, weeks, right?
21 dates.
Probably sold out already,
and then I don't think it's going on sale yet, but I do love what he did. The first 9 shows are exclusively for residents of Puerto Rico. So
Perfect.
They're the only ones for the first 9 shows.
Perfect.
And then the places where he seems to have announced he's going, he's going to go to Spain. I saw Brazil, Mexico. He didn't say anything about the U.S., the U.S. mainland. But so it's 21 days. So the summer he'll be in Puerto Rico. Then he does some international stuff.
He's doing international. It's funny. I met someone who's a promoter in Spain, and I was like, oh, who are people listening to there? And he goes, all they listen to is reggaeton in Spain. Mm-hmm. That's all and Brazil, obviously, well, I mean, we're not Brazil. They don't speak Spanish, but yeah, reggaeton. I just think it's a great record. We've discussed it. I think it's a really important.
I think it's
record.
a very important record, and it's the most important record in his catalog.
Oh yeah, for sure. And and all of his records have been, but this is the one where you can see he's going, like we said last week. I have the power now. I've got the clout. I've got the respect, and now I'm going to make you jump through my hoops. And it sounds great. And for all these people like, you know what? The kids are not listening to Hector Lavoe. Mark Anthony is considered grandpa's music. No one has ever said that Bad Bunny is a salsero. No one has ever said he's the greatest singer of our times.
But he's speaking to the generation of
generation.
Now. Absolutely.
Right. And what he's doing and he's just, doesn't he seem like he would be our friend?
Yeah.
I think he would be our friend. He seems like
I think he would have
guy.
a good time if he came on this show. I think he would
I
have
think
fun.
we should. I think we should. Listen. I'm making calls all over town right now. You would be amazed. I almost reached out to Dochi's publicist today. I was like, she's not going to be doing anything for the next couple of All these people were going to go to LA are not going anywhere anymore, so they'll be home. Maybe they want to do a little mom and pop podcast. Anyway, anything else you got to say for yourselves, mister?
I have to say, same bat time, same bat channel next week, kids. You know what it is. You love us. We love you. Thank you for rocking with us on the Pantheon Podcast Network, which really has grown like
leaps and bounds.
And don't forget, the Start Engine is still there. If you want to invest and you're looking to get in on something that is growing and growing and growing and expanded, we have a whole sports division. I'm going to say, and I will stand by this, Amy and I...
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I didn't want to go there, but thank you. You take it.
We were groundbreaking on Pantheon because everybody on Pantheon was really hardcore music.
Right.
And Peter and Christian liked our kooky little show where, we talked about New York and it was more social commentary around music. It wasn't like, they have real DJs and producers and musicians who are really giving you the history of stuff. And then you have us. And we're a good thing. That's not a bad thing, but we're really different. When we do the all podcast, like company sort of Zooms, we're really different than everybody else. But now I feel like there's a bunch of shows that are kind of in the vein of us. So we're groundbreaking, kids. So that's why you need to come to and listen to Pantheon, and you need to invest in Pantheon because it's growing. There's a whole sports division and sports shows that are doing great.
It's fun. It's a fun group of people, and I will say, when I tell people when I'm pitching the show to artists and I say we're Pantheon Podcasts, they are like, ooh, so that's cool.
Absolutely.
That's very cool. That's cool. It's so much better than you and me standing out at Canal Street Market, which is now closed.
But you know what? I look back on that time really fondly. It was really fun. It's like how we started this show out. And guys, this June will make 6 years of ImmaLetYouFinish. 6. I can't believe. First of all, I can't believe that.
I haven't had 6 years of anything.
It's like 6
Did I mention to you that my grandson thought I was Cher?
Which is a really good one.
I have been working. Listen, I have literally been going up to people on the street going, "Hi, what time is it? By the way, my 4-year-old grandson thinks I'm Cher." And the first person I called after he told me that was you.
And I appreciated that.
I knew you would.
I appreciated that. I was like, that kid has taste. And with that, we will see you next week, kids. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hey, this is John Moses and Tyler Morrison from the Fight Stories podcast.
And we want to welcome everyone from Pantheon to check out the podcast that goes from pros to average Joes.
We got MMA champs, boxing champs, NHL tough guys, funniest comedians in the world. And of course, stories from guys like your drunk Uncle Tommy on Thanksgiving.
That's right, because we're the voice of the streets, and we want to hear from you guys, because what's better than hanging out with your crew and reliving the old glory days?
Stories like Rigby, who put that guy's head through a popcorn machine in front of his 5- and 6-year-old son while eating chicken wings at the bar.
It doesn't get any better than that. Everyone has a fight story. We want to hear yours.